that comes on our bike, which for some reason has an undersized. Let's talk a little bit about converting from the factory style bar and stem to the BMX style bar and stem. It's a very simple process. You only need a couple of parts. You need a replacement bar and a replacement stem, a replacement bar and a replacement stem, and the one other part that you need, I'll show you. So first off, you need to crack open your safety lever. Crack that open. You'll hinge that back like so. And you grab your Allen wrench and you'll crack it loose, lefty loosey, and then all the way, and then you'll remove it. And this is what's called a quill stem, and it's 25.4 millimeters in diameter on our factory bike, and that's important because you can get them in 25.4 or 22.2. If you accidentally buy 22.2, you'll have to buy the right one or shim it. Either's fine. So let's put this aside. So now once you've got that off, here's the components that we're looking at on this. This loose, this loose, get this a little bit looser. Of course, I pre-loosened all of these. So, once you loosen this enough, there we go, comes right out. So, you've got your factory one. There's your folding bars. Out it goes. Now you'll need to transfer over your grips and your shifters and all that, and your cables and stuff, but that's not for this video. This is for the hardware here. So you've got this removed, out it goes, and then you buy your quill stem adapter. So you notice it adapts from the quill part down here, this is called a threaded stem adapter, and up to a threadless, which is what's more common. And then this threadless can then go into any stem. That's this part, it's the stem. This is the quill stem adapter, the stem, and then the handlebars. So you buy this, you buy whichever one of these you want, and then you buy whichever set of bars you want. This is the, who makes this? Spec or Spark, something like that. Fancy us. And then these are the Odyssey Lumberjack XXL 9.8 inch rise. So 9.8 inches from the center line to the center line. It's a good rise, nice and tall. 30 inches wide. You can cut them down if you want to, but there's not a lot of extra room. Once you have your grips, I moved my shifter over here. I've got my dropper seat remote. And then over here, I moved my throttle control over here too. So, buy this, stick it in here, put that on top, and it's good to go. Now this has an oversized cap, which makes me go this direction. It doesn't matter, same concept. And then this goes in here, all the way down, nice and snug. This needs to get then tightened up. Once that's tightened up, you tighten these up. Once these on both sides are tightened up, you then tighten up these. And then switch all your, or get all your wiring done. You're going to have to take off your wire loom. That's probably, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I cleaned mine up. I got rid of my loom and I put zip ties on it. So there we go. That's all that's necessary. Now, this looseness here is because of these clamps. This tire not staying straight to the bars ultimately is because of this. So it's very important to tighten this first and then this second. So you need this, the correct tightness. It doesn't have to be super tight. And then, okay, so that would be a good example. And then this, get this nice and tight. Maybe a quarter, half turn on this side. And then just get this one spun in. Maybe a quarter to a half turn on this side. Now from there you're in really good shape. So the bars are locked nicely into the stem. And the way you know which one of these two is loose is if your bars are moving independently of your tire, then it's generally these. If you have some looseness or sloppiness or some play in the handlebars, then that's attributed to this. That's all there is to it. It's a really simple modification. You need some hex wrenches, and you might even need a screwdriver. I forget how all of these accessories come off. I think they're all just hex wrenches. Let's talk about the sizing. The sizing is a little bit confusing. So the size that you're going for here is 28.6 millimeter. Okay, that's 1 1/8 inch. That's standard for every stem out there. You buy a mountain bike stem from a great manufacturer like Specialized or Trek, or some generic China piece of junk, they're all going to be the 28.6. This is standard for your threadless stems. That's why we're going from this old school quill stem technology up to the new standard size. The old size stems, and a rather common size stem, especially on generic China bikes, is 22.2 millimeters, which is 7/8. That gets confused a lot because 7/8 is also the 22.2 millimeter diameter of the handlebars. Same thing with these bars. These are also 22.8 millimeters diameter, so 7/8. So there's a lot of confusion about all these numbers, and they really do line up. They're kind of common diameters for a reason. Now ours, again, I mentioned, is a little bit bigger. Ours is our quill stem adapter needs to be 25.4 millimeters, which is 1 inch. That's what we've got. That's what we've got down here. We've got 25.4 millimeters, 1 inch. So if you buy an undersized one, you just buy a little piece of metal conduit at the hardware store and cut off 1 inch length, and then cut a little slit in the middle of it, and then just kind of wedge and hammer it on. And mine are undersized. It's not actually 25.4. Mine are like 24. So that's undersized. So when I got this in there, despite the shims and tightening it up, it still wobbled. And I was like, that's not going to work. Time to buy the right one. So I bought this at a local bike store, and who cares? I'm keeping it an extra part. I have a lot of parts in bikes. So those are the size standards as far as that's concerned. The size standards for the handlebars are also sometimes confused. This is a junky set I had off of a junky scooter. But 22.2 7/8, that's standard on all your handlebars. This bike, this bike, this bike. So, and the way you remember that is hand grips. They all fit every bike. You buy a set of hand grips and it's guaranteed to fit your handlebars because they're all 7/8, 22.2 millimeters. The only thing that varies is this part down here. So there's two different fatnesses as a general rule. The one that is standard is 25.4 millimeters, which is 1 inch. So you go from 7/8 of an inch to 1 inch. You go from 22.2 to 25.4 millimeters. That's the little fat bulge right here. That's the same on this handlebar that is like worth $1 from China. That's the same as my $80 lumberjack bars. That's the same as the bar that comes on our bike, which for some reason has an undersized Allen wrench on it. It's a 5 millimeter instead of a 4. Oh wait, I label it 22.2 7/8, but that then, as you can see, it jumps up here to a fatter diameter. So they're all the same like that. It's really kind of all there is to making the modification. Dropper post is awesome. P&W, it's the 200 millimeter, which is an 8 inch. So I've got 8 inches of dropper in it, and then I've got an additional 6 inches right here. So I've got a ridiculous 14 inches of travel on this thing, which I absolutely love. I can find it for any riding position that I need. From circus clown low to circus clown high and something practical in between. Thanks for watching and hope that you like. Let me know if you have any questions.